IWU. Let me get started again. We'll get started again. My name is Raymond Flores. I am the Director of Marketing and Admissions here at CSI. Thank you so much for joining us at the CSI IWU webinar. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is essentially a new partnership that we have worked with IW, Indiana Wesleyan University, and developed just recently, and we're really excited about this opportunity and this partnership. With us today, we also have Dr. Carson Castleman, and he will be talking about a little bit about from IWU's perspective after we go through the various aspects of the partnership and kind of showcase what this partnership is about. Okay, so if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and get started. So like I mentioned, we are super excited here at CSI. We've had various articulation agreements and everything else with different colleges and universities, but this one is specifically very unique in the sense that with Indiana Wesleyan University, we have opportunities for international students to be able to do various aspects and various things. And we're kind of creating what is more of a pathway for our international students at CSI to be able to get degree programs, whether they be bachelor's or master's degree programs. So the first slide I was wanting to really talk about is, as you can see, we've kind of worked towards developing a pathway. And the pathway goes all the way from, if you don't have any English language skills, you hardly have any English, and you want to be able to do an academic program in the United States, we have the path of you coming through ESL Academy, which is right now we have ESL Academy in Boston. We're hoping to have that as well in Chicago here pretty soon. But ESL Academy is now in Boston, where we have levels from beginner, intermediate, advanced, as well as academic English. So we teach all of those different levels of English at ESL Academy. And then you can also, as some of you already are students at CSI, at Computer Systems Institute, you have the ability to be able to do certificate level programs with us, which are one-year certificate level programs, and get the academic. To us, mainly, it gives you an opportunity also to be able to transition from something like ESL, or maybe if you're coming from abroad, to really get a grasp of academics here in the United States, and to be able to successfully be able to do academic programs here in the US. Along with that, with CSI, we've got several programs, of course, with certificate programs, one-year certificate programs that you can choose from, with opportunities for CPT and OPT, which we know for international students is really important and something that you really want and want to be able to get. And then we have, and closing in the loop, and this is, again, our very exciting opportunity for us, closing in the loop, we have IWU, which is Indiana Wesleyan University, and you will have that opportunity to be able to transfer your credits towards a degree if you're looking for a bachelor's degree, or even be able to go for a master's degree. So what we're showcasing here is here within our pathway, you can go all the way from ESL, entry level, all the way from ESL to certificate level programs, and ultimately to bachelor's and master's degree programs with IWU. So we wanted to kind of showcase that pathway. And we're really, like I said, really excited about this, because this gives us an opportunity to close the loop and to be able to showcase the different options that you have as students. So again, we're announcing the partnership. The main aspect is, when we say study smarter, earn your bachelor's or master's degree, really the premise is, a lot of international students, they want to be able to, of course, study here in the United States, be able to achieve their academic goals, whether it be a certificate program, a bachelor's degree program, a master's degree program. But one of the big things that I know, and being haven't been an international student myself, of course, it's been a long time, 20 some years ago that I came in here in the US, it's always important to be able to get a quality degree or a quality program at a more affordable cost, right? Because I remember when I came in as an international student, I always would do the exchange, and I was like, man, it's so expensive to study here in the US, correct? And it's like, oh, I'm spending all this money. I've got this money from India, and now I'm spending all this money here. It's so expensive. So this gives you an opportunity to be able to study more in a more affordable way, whether it be ESL, CSI, with certificate level programs, and then, as we will show you, with IWU, with degree programs, which are also really, really affordable. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of CSI and the IWU partnership. And here, as we go through this, I will also call on Dr. Castleman to also kind of make his comments here to kind of see, kind of showcase to you what this partnership means and where the benefits are. So one of the big things is this international student journey. I'll kind of go through the bullet points. The international student journey and availability of options, like I said, they range from ESL to certificate level programs and bachelor's and master's degree programs at IWU. So this way you have options. A lot of the times when you go to a certain kind of conglomerate or you go to a certain pathway, you can only do ESL and a degree program, or you can only do a degree program, or you can only do ESL. Here, between this partnership with CSI and IWU and ESL Academy, you have this whole big pathway that's open to you. The other thing is low-cost tuition. You know how affordable for those who are at CSI, you know how affordable CSI is. We will also show you how affordable IWU is as well, because I know IWU has made it where essentially they've been very competitive with a lot of the various colleges and universities throughout the country to make the bachelor's as well as master's degrees very affordable. And we're going to showcase that here in just a little bit as well. You also get the support from both institutions. So just because you are a student at CSI doesn't mean that we're going to say, okay, now you're a student with IWU, so see you later. No, that's not what we're going to do, right? You're going to get the support both from CSI as well as IWU during your studies, as well as after your studies, whether it be a CSI or IWU, will still help support you in your journey and continue to help you along the way. The other thing is, if you're worried about English placement test, for CSI graduates, we don't have any requirements for that because you already have studied here at CSI and you already have the opportunity to be able to finish up the degree program. I hear an echo, Jennifer. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hold on one second. Jennifer, are you in? Okay.
Yes, sorry, I was muted. Everybody else was muted too. I couldn't figure out who was.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure that it came out fine. The other thing is we also have the opportunity for CSI students who have completed credits here at CSI to be able to transfer up to 40 credit hours from CSI to IWU for bachelor's level programs. At this time, I'd like to at least bring in Dr. Castleman. Maybe he can talk a little bit about how that works and what that entails.
Sure, great. Great to be with you. So one of the things is Raymond talked about is I think is a benefit for you is if you went through CSI's program, we have evaluated their programmatic curriculum, and we can award for each course college credit hours through IWU. IWU is 102 years old. We're regionally accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. And so one of the great things that we can do is we can look at what we call PLA, Prior Learning Assessment. And we take up to 40 college credit hours through CSI into your program, your bachelor's degree program at Indiana Wesleyan. I think the other benefit is because of a relationship with CSI, we will not charge any kind of transcription fee or any kind of portfolio fee or anything for those up to 40 college credit hours that come into your bachelor's degree. So I think that is a great opportunity for you to capitalize on the learning that you took and transpired at CSI, and then bring that on into IWU to help you continue to get a bachelor's degree. And then hopefully you can go on and get your master's degree. And we also have doctoral degrees. So if that was something you are interested in. So thank you, Raymond.
Thank you, Dr. Castleman. So like Dr. Castleman talked about, it's based off of a prior learning assessment. Now, some of these, the credits that we have, they have been evaluated. If there are certain other credits that you have as well, of course, Dr. Castleman and his team would also be able to try to see, take the transcript and be able to evaluate and see what else needed to be able to get transferred in as well. When you say 40 credit hours, that's 40 out of 120, correct, Dr. Castleman? Yeah, so 40
That
out
is
of
correct.
120, that's like a third, up to a third of your studies. If you've already done some college, credits here at CSI or else, you have the opportunity to be able to transfer up to a third of your credits over to IW for bachelor's programs, which is a great opportunity, especially from a financial perspective as well, that we can say. The other thing is, so that's for a bachelor's program. You're thinking, okay, what about master's? What do we do for masters? If you're going into a master's level program, and we'll see here in just a little bit about how the master's program is also laid out. But you new master's program students also benefit from this because you get a one-time book scholarship, not to exceed $250 and it's credited after the second course has completed. So with our partnership here, you are able to get into a master's program. Now, again, the English requirement is also not you don't have to take English placement test because you've already taken CSI as a graduate and graduated from CSI. So of course that takes into consideration, but then going into a master's, you also get this additional benefit here as far as a one-time book scholarship. And then we have our CSI admission staff will assist you in the enrollment process. So you don't have to be like, oh, who do I go to? Who do I talk to? I'm very comfortable with CSI staff. So we have a vast staff of admissions personnel who might speak your language specifically, and you've dealt with them and you've worked with them, or even if you didn't, I mean, we have that opportunity for you to be able to talk with our CSI staff and be able to get enrolled into IW. So we don't just say, hey, here you go, here's the link, go ahead and apply with IW. We'll walk you through the process and help you be able to get enrolled into IW if that's your intention to get into a degree program. The other thing, oops. All right. The other thing is talking about some more benefits of CSI IW partnership. This is going to be offered at the Maryville campus. The Maryville campus, Dr. Castleman, is about what, 45 minutes from our Chicago campus?
Yeah, it's called Maryville, Indiana. So it's right over the border from Illinois into Indiana. It's Hammond, Indiana, and then Maryville, Indiana. And so we have a site there that sits on I-65, and it is located there. And we are willing to, like I said, give transportation from the Chicago Center of CSI out to the Maryville campus and back. And so we are glad to do that. And the nice thing about our program is you don't have to go every day. It's on the weekends. So it's a Friday, Saturday. And so that is a nice thing. So it's a nice hybrid.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the specific aspects with the weekend, because I'm super excited about that as well, because this gives opportunities for students not only just in Illinois, but also somebody from Massachusetts, if they want to be able to study at IW, you have that opportunity to do so. In fact, any part of the country, if you want to live or stay any part of the country, you can attend IWU, and we will help facilitate that that enrollment as well. Again, this last part, Dr. Castleman already talked about transportation from our Chicago campus to the Maryville campus, but we will also provide assistance with hotel accommodations for those that need it. So if you're in Massachusetts and you want to come to Illinois and you're coming for the in-person classes, on the weekend, and it's not every weekend, we'll talk more about that, but when you do, we will assist you with the hotel accommodations aspect as well, in figuring out what would be best as well. Right?
And we can help you find what that assistance is we'll help you find the hotels that are close to the area, and then we also get a preferred rate for you, so that when you have to pay for that rate, you get it at a discounted rate. So it is a great opportunity.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Castleman. So Indiana Wesleyan University, let's talk a little bit more about the bachelor's or bachelor's or master's degree programs. I see we have quite a few things on the chat. We will take questions and we will answer questions, and we're giving an opportunity here as soon as we get done here with the presentation, and then we can kind of go from there. So if you do have questions, go ahead and either put them in the chat, or you can wait till we ask for Q&As, and we'll be glad to take your questions then as well. So let's talk a little bit about Indiana Wesleyan University as far as the programs that we've talked about, essentially at the Maryville campus. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but Maryville campus are the Bachelors of Science and Management and the Masters of Science and Management information technology. So a couple of the requirements, as you can see right below, for Bachelors of Science and Management, we have requirements of high school diploma. Of course, if you want to go for a bachelor's degree, you have to have high school. And then you have to show financials, and the financials that that IW asks is the 32,821 for and to be able to show as far as financials specifically for international students. The other thing on the flip side, for masters, you have to have a bachelor's degree in order to get into a master's level program, and then the financials are just a little less, which is at 24,930 in order to get into this this program. But
Is
one
that
of some
the
of the
bank
basic,
statement?
yeah, as far as bank
Okay.
statements, correct.
Okay,
As far
thank
as
you.
bank statements, financials to show, rather. So it could be financials, whether it be your own finances or financial support, whether it be from a financial sponsor. You can, as long as you show that, that should suffice as far as financials that you need to show in order to get an I-20, from IWU. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about right below each one. You can see Bachelors of Science and Management. Of course, you have that opportunity for OPT. A lot of international students, you already are familiar with OPT and optional practical training. So after you finish up the degree program, you have an opportunity to do OPT. So once you graduate, you have the 1 year of OPT that you can do under the, but you would have to, of course, apply for that through USCIS. Now with CSI, so let me tell you a little bit about that too. So CSI students, if you've already done OPT with CSI, or you're going to do OPT with CSI, that's fine, because OPT you can get at every level, every educational level, as long as it's a higher level. So if you did one with us, or you're going to do one with us at the certificate level program, you can still get one at the bachelor's, and then subsequently you can still get one at the master's, and so on and so forth. It's just that you can't do OPT at the same level, more than one OPT at the same level. So this gives a great opportunity for you all, if you are CSI graduates, or you're currently at CSI. If you do an OPT, after graduating from CSI, you can still do one after graduating from a bachelor's program with IWU as well. So of course you have that OPT opportunity. Classes will be primarily taught online, except, as Dr. Castleman was talking about, one weekend every 8 weeks in person. So the way it's broken down, and Dr. Castleman can probably talk a little bit more about this, but the semester is broken down into 16 weeks, right? And 8 weeks, you have 2 classes of 8 weeks long for a bachelor's program, of which you only have to come once every 8 weeks for the in-person class. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Dr. Castleman?
Sure. So how we set it up is let's do an example. So let's take from January until May. That's your 16-week term. So in that term, you're going to take a class from January until the end of February. That's 8 weeks. And then what you will get, that you will have to come to campus in Maryville on a Friday, Saturday for 1 weekend. Then you will go from February, and then you'll go from March to May, and you will take a class that will be 8 weeks long, and then you will come one time for a Friday, Saturday there. So in each course that you take, you only have to be on site for a weekend long. Now, remember, you have to have 12 college credit hours during a term. So you will take 2 classes from January to February. You will take 2 classes from May to March, and then you'll take one that lasts the whole 16 weeks. Does that mean that? But that's online. So we'll walk through that, and it's a great opportunity for you to meet other peers, but B, learn from the faculty, and it's that opportunity to really engage in that material and still meet CVIS standard and USCSI standard. So that's how it works. And so you will do that from May until August, and then August to December. That's how the terms run.
So once every 2 months, you basically, if you lived in Massachusetts, once every 2 months, in Boston, once every 2 months, you just go over to Chicago and for a weekend, and that satisfies your bachelor's requirements of in person. And this is not just for COVID. It's during this, it's no matter what, right?
Yes.
So. Okay.
And we have people doing this for our master's program. If you choose the master's, the location is in Cincinnati, Ohio. So you would fly into Cincinnati, you would go right into there. It's 5 miles from the airport. You don't even have to rent a car. You could Uber over, and the hotels and food and everything are right there. So, and that's the same thing. You only have to go one time on that period. So it's a great opportunity to really get a expanded education, but not have to live in the area where the institution is, which I think is a great benefit for many.
Dr. Castleman, talking about that, in the Maryville campus, we will, we're looking to be able to open up both the bachelor's as well as a master's, program there, right?
We can.
Yeah, so what we're thinking about is, as we build the cohort for bachelor's as well as masters, we'll be able to open up both bachelor's and masters. So for those of you who live in Illinois, in Chicago area, it's like just a hop, skip, and jump, and you can go to your master's. But if you live in Boston or any other area around the country, you would have to fly in and be able to go to the Maryville campus. Talking about back to bachelor's, the OPT opportunity. Now, one of the things that you don't give in bachelor's is we don't give the opportunity for CPT. Is that correct?
That is correct, because
Okay.
you can't.
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of just point that out and just wanted to make sure you all were aware of that. However, on the master side, there's an opportunity for you to be able to do CPT from day one. So there's a lot of different colleges and universities as well that give that opportunity. And CPT is something that this is a unique opportunity for master's degree programs, because you can literally live anywhere in the United States and be able to do CPT and still be able to fly in or drive in or whatever to the Maryville campus and be able to do the master's degree program once every 16 weeks, which means once every 4 months, you have to attend a weekend session, right? So Dr. Castleman, if you just talked about that.
So it's the same model. So you will come in, you will take a class from January till that March, till that end of February. You will take a class, and that first class you do not have to come in. We always do it on the second half of the. You'll take a class which you do not have to come to campus for. Then you'll take a class from March until May, and you come to campus for that second class. And then you have a class that runs continuously across the 16-week, and that is the CPT course to help you make sure you have understanding and give knowledge to critical practical training. So it's a great opportunity. Once again, it's one time every 16 weeks. So you'll come in March. From the January to May term, you would come in March. From the May to August term, you would come in July. And then from the August to December term, you would come in November.
Great. And so you have the opportunity to do day one CPT with IWU as well. And this, and of course, it's the same application process in the sense you apply, and then you of course have to apply for CPT. You have to have all your ducks in a row, make sure you have an employer and everything else. And as long as it meets within the curriculum, and you submit it and it meets within the curriculum, you would get approved and you would get your I-20 that relates with CPT. So that's something that's definitely available. Also, Dr. Castleman, I'd like to talk to you, since we're on that subject of CPT, OPT. I know I talked with Dr. White, who's in charge of the enrollment aspect for IWU as well, and he mentioned that there might be opportunities for students who, in their master's program, want to do both CPT and OPT, and that might be more of like an accelerated kind of aspect to it. Could you talk a little bit about that as well?
Sure. So the United States government has qualifications and standards on what OPT, how you can get OPT, and that is you cannot utilize over 11 months and so many days of CPT in order and still apply for OPT. So what we have is we have the ability to accelerate your degree in your master's so that you would not utilize all of your CPT time, and you could then apply for OPT, still be within the guidelines of the government. And as long as the government approves the OPT, because that's the key factor we always want people to understand. Indiana Wesleyan University, CSI, the schools do not determine OPT. It is the United States government that determines OPT eligibility, so and awards it. So, but yes, it's a great opportunity, and it is there for students.
Yeah, and the big thing is also with regards to the CPT OPT aspect of things. Of course, students want to be able to get that work experience that they get either through CPT or OPT, and like Dr. Katzman mentioned, it's a great opportunity for students to be able to get both of those as
Yeah.
well in a degree program. So
Real quick,
I
there
also
was a
see.
question in the chat. I wanted to talk
Sure.
about a few of the master's programs. So we offer a Master's of Science in Management with an emphasis in IT management, ITM. We offer a Master's of Science in Management with an emphasis in data analytics. We offer a Master's MBA in data analytics. We offer a Master's straight MBA with just MBA. We offer a Master's of Science in Information Technology Leadership.
Yep. And of course, IWU has all of these various opportunities. The only ones that I was talking about specifically here, of course, we can talk more about all the degree programs that IWU has to offer. The reason why I'm talking more about these specific ones is because these ones are specific to what we would open up in the Maryville campus. But of course, there's a lot more other opportunities for bachelor's degree programs too, and we will give you all the we will give you the option and to be able to see on the IWU website as well here shortly too. I think we also have some students that are joining us from abroad, by the way, Dr. Castleman. So that's a great opportunity for students to be able to come from abroad. And if students want to come from abroad, they can, of course, apply directly to IW either through us or directly through IWU. Or if they wanted to do a pathway either through ESL Academy, CSI, or IWU, they can definitely do that as well. So I think this is a great opportunity for students coming from abroad also to be able to continue to be there. In fact, Dr. Castleman and I were talking about some time ago too about being able to get dual acceptance and things of that nature between CSI and IWU, so that students, once they come, they can do CSI and then automatically also look being able to get into IWU with transferring credits. So just stay tuned for that, because we were in the talks about how that's going to work out as well for students coming from abroad. We'll take more questions here in just a bit, but if it's okay, I'll just go ahead and continue on, and then we'll continue with some questions. So one of the big things that students really want to find out is, what kind of documents do I need as an international student, right? Wanting to get into IWU, what are the requirements? Well, these are the checklist of documents that that we'll be collecting on behalf of IWU and making sure that we communicate that information. So the application, we'll send you the link. That's a link, but we'll send you the link as well through email that you can also apply for IWU. You also have to have a valid passport, visa if you're in the United States. So if you're in the United States and already a student, you just have to show your F1 visa status. If you're not a student as of yet, IWU also does change of statuses, just like CSI does, till we have that opportunity to be able to do change of status for you and issue you an I-20. And of course, we will help you through the process. Or if you want to do, of course, there's a conglomerate of different things there. And then financial security. For the designated amount per degree path, they prefer within 30 days, but will accept within 90 days. So really between 30 and 90 days as far as the financials that you need to show, like the bank statements. An official bachelor's transcripts for master's level or high school equivalent for a bachelor's level. So pretty much what you've done you might have done for CSI, which is, hey, you need an application, a passport, a visa, financial security, and then your high school, graduation requirements or whatever, right? The other thing is placement tests. Now, we told you about placement tests for CSI graduates, but if you're not a CSI graduate, IWU does have some admission score requirements. So for TOEFL, as you can see, for TOEFL, for undergraduate, 79, 85 for master's, 95 for doctorate. Or if you have IELTS scores, it's 6.5 or 7, 6.5 for undergraduate and master's, and 7 for doctoral programs. But you will also note that they also give a waiver option in place of the required TOEFL or IELTS scores. And these are the waiver qualifications. So if you've attended 4 full years of U.S. high school, or you have 4 full years of an international education institution where English is the primary language of instruction, if you can showcase that, or an SAT score of 27 or more, ACT score of 20, or you earned a bachelor's degree or higher from a college or university here in the US. So there are different levels of waivers as well. And of course, one of the big waivers is if you finish up with CSI and graduate with CSI, you have that opportunity as well without having to give your English placement scores. So definitely another opportunity there as far as English placement is concerned. And then the financial support form, as we mentioned before, and we're showing it again with the bank statements, is for bachelors, you'll need to show 32,821, and for masters, 24,930. If you have dependents, this is without dependents. If you have dependents, you need to add $6,000 per spouse or child.
Don't protest it, buddy.
Okay.
All
All right.
Can everybody mute themselves, Patira?
So I went ahead and muted.
Okay, thank you.
So there we go. As far as the requirements are concerned, now the schedule, Dr. Castleman, I pulled this from the information you provided to us, but we have start dates as early as May, and then May through August, August is December, and so on. And you can see what those terms are as well. And then, so I'll leave that up for a second. As you can see, May to August, August to December, January to April, May to August, August to December. So that's how they have it set up as far as the schedules. You can see the summer, fall, and winter term. So basically three semesters essentially per year is how they IWU does it. So January, May, and August are primarily the intake days, right? So how do you apply? We'll give you the link here shortly as well, and I'll put it onto the chat. But for now, what I'll do is that's primarily what I have to really talk about between IWU, CSI, and I want to kind of get a little bit of thoughts before we bring on questions. I'd like to get some thoughts from Dr. Castleman, a little bit more about the partnership and why does he feel it's really important, and why this would help international students in general as well. And then we'll be open up for questions.
Great. Well, thank you, Raymond. Ultimately, we've covered a lot of information, and I think you've done a phenomenal job of giving the benefits of the partnership of CSI and IWU. I think what we both have to offer, and something that is unique to both institutions, is we truly do care about the whole self of a person and a student. We want to see the student succeed, and we will do whatever it takes to make a student successful. And I know CSI takes that mindset of taking care of a student at all costs. And Indiana Wesleyan does the same. We want to help you move forward in your education, whatever it takes to get that attainment, we will do it. More importantly, I think it's an opportunity that students can come in and get the baseline level learning that they need at CSI through the immersions of language school and things like that, and then come into their bachelor's degree at Indiana Wesleyan. And what a great opportunity to take the learning that they've achieved and the success that they've had at CSI and bundle that together and become college credit hours and turn that here at IWU. And what I see that is it's a 2-for-1. So they're paying for it at CSI, but they're also getting credit for 40 hours of it at Indiana Wesleyan. What an opportunity to really maximize the use of your money. So ultimately, I think those are some really good things that the partnership offer. And more importantly, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, is that you've got CSI folks that truly care about their students and want to see them succeed. And Indiana Wesleyan University is right there ready to take the handoff and engage and care and take care of students just like CSI does. So.
Thank you, Dr. Castleman. That's great as far as being able to showcase more about the partnership. Again, like we said, we are super excited here at CSI to be able to have this with an institution such as yours that really truly cares about international students as we do. One of the questions that we have is one of the students wanted to ask more about PhD requirements. Now, currently, we will not be doing specifically PhD over in Maryville. However, IWU does have PhD programs as well. And what we can do is we can definitely give you more information about PhD programs, but do you want to talk a little bit about that, Dr. Clark?
Sure. Our doctorate program, that we do offer a PhD, however, we do not offer it in a modality that would meet the needs of a F1 student. So a F1 student could not do our PhD. However, we do have a DBA, a Doctorate of Business Administration, that is designed for an F1 student to take. And so we have those, and that DBA, Doctorate of Business Administration, and 3 or 4 different content areas. And the one thing that I love about our DBA program is it is a practitioner's degree. And what I mean by that, it's someone that is in the workforce working and doing a doctorate. But more importantly, it's not a dissertation based, but it's an applied dissertation project. So you take a project that you could implement within an organization, and that's what your program is. So it's a great opportunity. It's a DBA, a Doctorate of Business Administration.
Thank you, Dr. Castleman. That's definitely a great thing. Whenever you're looking at again, the difference between a PhD and a DBA, primarily, like you said, is more of a practitioner's degree. I mean, as far as that's concerned, it's still a doctorate program. The one is more of academic, and one is more, and the other, which is a DBA, is more practitioner based. So again, it holds equal value. It's just one of the big things is
absolutely, it holds equal value. I would say the biggest difference is original research. So I have a PhD, which is the highest degree in the Western world, which doesn't mean anything because guess what? My wife has an EDD, and guess what they call her? Doctor. So call me doctor, to call her doctor. But a DBA is a practitioner's degree, and what it is, it's not original research because it's project based. So it's that application, it's that real life work. So you're exactly right, Raymond. It is in the academy, you're still doctor, and nobody questions it. So.
Of course, I think we already mentioned talking about day one CPT, like CSI for master's program. So I believe we did talk about that. How many credits can be transferred master's program? Now, you said you can transfer up to 9 hours towards a master's program. The only difference is for CSI students, because we are at a certificate level program going into, moving over, we primarily transfer credits specifically for the bachelor's degree program. When Dr. Castleman is talking about transferring up to 9 hours, those are primarily from bachelor's level programs, right?
No. 9 hours is, I apologize. I'm glad we had clarification.
Yeah.
We will you cannot transfer hours from a undergrad into a grad. Yeah. But if you've had a graduate degree somewhere else and you've transferred hours, if that matches up, we can transfer up to 9 hours if the programs are similar.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying, Dr. Castleman, is we need to start here at CSI, we need to start doing a graduate certificate level program so we can transfer some credits on over, right? Over from us to you. So that's something else that we might be working towards as well. But what about, let's talk a little bit about some of these other programs. Are these programs offered at the, Jennifer asked, are these programs offered at the Maryville campus if students wanted to go on site? Is that what you meant? I think you put Mary in.
When I said Cincinnati, you mean?
Yeah, Jennifer,
your main campus. If they wanted to live on campus and do the full experience.
You could apply to that, absolutely, and yeah, absolutely, you could do that. The cost is much different.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the cost structure is a lot different.
Yeah, the cost structure is much different. Yeah. So,
and actually, I'll talk about the cost structure because somebody asked about the cost structure, and I can showcase the cost structure because I know Dr. Castleman and I have a couple of the cost things from a bachelor's as well as a master's. So if it's okay, I'll showcase those two, and that'll give an example for people to be able to see what the cost kind of looks like, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for those of you all that were asking about the cost structure for bachelor's degree programs. Here is the information as it relates to, like, for example, the Bachelor's of Science and Information Technology. These go by this is again the cost estimates that Dr. Castman and his team put together, and this essentially showcases the number of credits, how much credit per credit hour, and what the total tuition is. And as you can see, that's the total amount there. However, this takes into consideration also, Dr. Castman, that you have the 40 credit hours that are put in, right?
Let's see here. Let me double check. So yes, because this is the core, this is the business core. And so if you'll notice, that's only 42 college credit hours. So yes, so if you look at 42 college, that means you're transferring in 40 hours from somewhere else, because their goal was to get to 120. Yes.
No, yeah, so that's 42. You have 40 that would be transferring from somewhere else, and then you have some general courses as well, right? That would
yes, you would have gen eds and things like that, and we focus and help you on what we call accessibility and affordability. So we will give you every option, what is the most economical for you to finish those hours.
And for some students who are doing the bachelor's degree programs, say they want to be able to do fall and winter, but maybe they don't want to do a summer quarter for bachelor's. Is that an option for students, or do they go right all the way throughout?
Unfortunately, because of the F1, because of the visa, they do have to take during the summer months. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Does it have to be continuous? Do they get any kind of?
I can look at that, but yeah, I can look at it. I think there can be a short break, so they might be able to take like one course 6 weeks off and then we're fine. But I would have to check into that to make sure we would be in compliance with CVIS.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to kind of make sure, because I know a lot of students would ask that, hey,
No, that's a
do I
fair
get a break
question.
in between, and so on and so forth as well.
And here's the thing, because it really is like an accelerated course, and the nice thing is you're taking that 2 classes at a time versus taking 4 classes. So if you think about a traditional campus, you're taking, you're focusing on these, and they're only 6 weeks long, and so we can work on them. But I think because of how it's designed, they would have to, but I'll look into it. That's a great question.
Sure. We have a question on the chat as well. My undergraduate school does not offer the option to email the transcript. Is there other ways to provide an official transcript? And now, question with Case, is that an undergraduate school here within the United States, or is that abroad, an undergraduate school from abroad?
So like,
clarify.
Yeah, the school was like in Jordan, so it's abroad, but they don't offer the option to either like mail or email the transcripts. The only way like you will get it is just to get a hard copy directly from the school.
And that's
interesting. Yeah, we would work with you and find a way around it, but yeah, we would call the institution and see what we could come up with. But yeah, we'll do whatever we can to make it work.
Cool. I have another question regarding like the programs. Like I hear like you've mentioned they're like an MBA and Master of Science in Management with focus on information technology. Does the partner include like both of those programs, or I have to go with the Master of Science?
It's all MS. They're Master of Science degrees. So it's an MS in Management with IT, MS in Management, or an MBA.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and can we get like a document with like the courses that we will be getting, and like maybe the course like breakout to get like a better idea?
Sure. So great. Raymond, you're amazing. So this first class, if you look at, this is a Master of Science in Management with a focus on information technology management. And you'll notice the first 4 classes, really the first 4 or 5 classes you take are consistent across most master's degrees. So if you start in one degree and say, hey, I want to transfer over to this degree, you're not losing anything, because those classes are required. So you will always start at what we call Foundations of Graduate Business, just to assess your learning and understanding of graduate business in the Western world. And then you will go from that into like ethical, legal aspects, and then graduate communication and business essential communication, financial reporting analysis, to economics, to marketing, and then you go into your content area for the information technology systems infrastructures. And so that's what all those are for. So this is a lockstep deal for how it looks.
Okay, I understand. Like other question, like my current program gonna like end this semester with CSI, and I want like after to go to IWU. Should I like register for another program for like this period, or should I just go ahead and apply for IWU right now?
So do you have a bachelor's degree currently?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you have a bachelor's degree, then you would say, hey, I want to apply for a master's degree, and this is the master's degree I want to apply for, and you just apply for it, and we'll get you accepted and walk you through it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And
from
I
our
have to wait.
perspective,
Okay, go ahead.
sorry, Case. What I was going to say is, from our perspective, I know since you're finishing up this quarter, we also have our admission staff who would assist you. I put in the chat as well. You can talk directly to any one of our admission staff, or you can email admissions@csinow.com, or even in the chat we put in the link for you to apply. When you apply, then we'll get notifications saying you applied, and then one of our representatives will contact you to work through all of the different paperwork that we would need to in order to get you enrolled.
Yeah. And I think that's a benefit here is CSI is going to walk all of you guys through the application process. They're going to take care of you. They're going to make sure that you get your acceptance into IWU and ready to roll. So everything starts with CSI.
Got it. Because like I remember, like I went and like filled out the form, and when I started the process, the things that kind of like become confusing for me, because I like the people were handling my like I would say like situation weren't like fully aware between like with a partnership. So they told me like I have to get like some sort of English test and stuff, where like with your like with our conversation here, you said like I don't have to provide those things.
Correct. You don't have to provide any of that information. Just if you can, Case, just shoot me an email. I'll give you my my email address. If you want, just send me your information, and we'll go ahead and I'll work with you to kind of get through that process and get you going. Okay. And primarily it was still a learning process because we just started up with the partnership, so we were still working through some of the kinks. But I feel like we've already done now a great training with the reps. In fact, most of the reps are also here, by the way, listening in on this training. So they definitely know, what the different aspects of things here. So again, like I said, you can email me, email admissions@csinow.com, or at least fill out the application, start with the application, and we'll work with you throughout the aspect of the process and get you enrolled into IWU. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Case. Alrighty, and talking about the cost here, this is for the master's degree program. So here, essentially, like Dr. Castleman talked about, you go through the foundational courses, and then here this is the total with and without prerequisites, right? So if you have to have prerequisites, that it's at 25,000. If it's without prerequisites, 23,000. But that's over the course of what, like, is it about almost 2 years or year and a half, right?
Can you go up? I need to look at the degree. So this is a master. This is an MBA. So this is an MBA. So an MBA is longer than an MSM. So this would take about probably 26 to 28 months. A Master of Science in Management only takes about 22 months, but the price point's about $17,000. So it's much more fiscal stance on the master's. Fiscally responsible. How's that?
Talking about that, let me go ahead and also pull up the information about that. So if you let's take a look at some of the other questions while I'm actually, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and ask it now. That way, as I'm looking through the information, if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and you can go ahead and ask your question. No questions? I know we didn't do that great a job.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I understand that the classes is going to be held over the weekends, but what's the class hours? Or it depends on the program?
So that's a great question. It's all day Friday. So it starts at 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Friday and 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Thank you.
Is the case the same for the master program?
It is. Yep.
And talking about the MSM IT, I just got that information. As you can see, the MSM IT is priced at $15,830 here, but that's, you know, throughout this aspect of things. So here you go. This is what it essentially looks like. A lot different than the MBA, but again, when we talk about affordability, we want it to be affordable both for at CSI as well as IW. And here, of course, IW has who we partnered with has affordable pricing as well for a master's degree program.
And if you'll notice, those courses are the same: 501, 512, 515, 530. So those marketing, so they go from they'll just slide over if you change your degree.
Yep. Let's see, we have a couple other questions for in the chat. Can you please share a copy with us for the master? I will share that information with you. In fact, what we'll do is I will also, for those of you all who have signed up, I'll go ahead and share with you the link. We'll do a follow-up. We'll share with you the link as well as some of these slicks as well, so you'll be aware of what the information is. In fact, you can also go to the IW website as well, or you can go to our website and be able to see some information there as well.
I do want to put in a shameless plug here for you guys to give you some insight. So, you know, if you enroll between now and the June, you get these prices, because remember, July 1st, they'll go up just a little bit, not a lot, but they will go up. So, you know, you could, and we have locked tuition. So if once you start a program, that program cost stays with you your entire program.
Awesome. And so in May, when you're starting a new semester in May, what we're trying to do also is be able to go ahead and bring up a cohort there for the Maryville campus to start up in May. So so you have an opportunity here, about a month and a half, to be able to get started in Maryville with IWU. So if you are interested, please do feel free to go ahead and contact us at admissions@csinow.com, or you can, as I also showcased, the application form. You can fill out the application. We'll get notification and we will contact you to walk you through the admissions process and the enrollment process for IWU. Okay. Daniel, we will definitely talk to you for sure. Just give us some of your information if you can on the chat. If you haven't already, Daniel, I know you're interested in CSI, and we'll definitely talk to you about enrolling at CSI. And of course, beyond that, if you want to go ahead for bachelor's or master's degree programs, we can do that as well.
Yes,
payment options.
Yes, we do have payment options for our programs. So we absolutely do have it. So you don't have to pay it up front, but we do, and we put you on a monthly payment program. Absolutely.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
If, like you said, and for the price wise, if I apply like before June for the fall class, which is starting on August 21st, I believe, I still got the same price, or it's going to be higher?
It'll be a tad higher because July 1, the class, the tuition changes. That's the fiscal year. It's only $10 a credit hour, but it does change. But so if you start your program between now and July 1, your program cost stays the same, your entire program. So here's the beauty though. If you start August, when the next round of increase comes, it doesn't affect you because you stay with that cost. Does that make sense?
Can you repeat this point? I didn't get it exactly.
So what happens is, if you're paying, let's just say we're going to do everything by credit hour. If you're paying $470 a credit hour, because that's the going rate, and you enroll and you start your program in May of 2022, that $470 a credit hour is what you pay your entire program. July 1, 2022, the credit hour goes up to $480 a credit hour. If you start in August, that $480 is the number you pay continuously throughout your whole program, because in July of 23, there might be an increase. And if there is, it does not affect you because you're locked in at your rate. Whatever rate you came in under you stick with it the entire time, and we only change tuition rates one time a year if we do change them, and we change them in July 1st. So to give you an example, we haven't changed the rate on this one for 2.5, 3 years. 3 years, it's been 3 years. So July 1, there will be a rate increase. Does that make sense?
Yes, that
Okay.
makes sense. But my point is, so I have the deadline. It's going to be before before May 1st, in order to apply to enroll. So what's the
No,
deadline?
you
The
have
date?
to. The key is you have to start your program.
So when can I apply? The deadline for applying, I mean.
You can apply immediately.
All the
Like
way
till-
through till before the classes start, I guess is
Yeah.
what he's saying. The
Yes.
classes start on May the 2nd. As long as you go ahead and apply and get accepted and can start on May 2nd, you will get the current tuition rate. If you apply and if you apply but you don't start on by May 2nd, you start in August, then you will
Mhm.
pay the new tuition rate is what it is. It's when you
But
But
start.
he
the
has
program.
until later to, if he wants to start in August, he can apply in June or
Yeah.
July.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, if he's saying about applying now but not starting, the important thing is going to be the start. If you start in May, then you get the current rate. If you start in August, then you would have to pay the new rate, essentially.
Magali had a question. I didn't want to answer her incorrectly based on my outdated knowledge. So how many credit hours is full-time?
So great question. It is with IWU in a term, a graduate student must be enrolled for 6 college credit hours for a graduate student. For an undergraduate student, they must be enrolled for 12 hours in a term.
And the way it breaks down is with IWU, it's 3 credit hours per class or per course, primarily, as you can see. Whereas at CSI, I know you're used to, we have a 4 credit hour because we run on a quarter system. But again, with IWU, it's more primarily at a 3 credit hour per course, essentially, is how it essentially works. We had another question, Simone. I'm sorry we didn't get to look at yours, but is there a master's in nursing program that you have, Dr. Castleman?
We do have a master's in nursing, but we do not have anything that a F1 student, because of the requirement of being on site and taking it on site. Our master's program is primarily online, so it would not work for a student who needs a visa.
Yeah, so if you are an international student, unfortunately, Masters of Nursing is not available to you through IWU at this time. If you're a domestic student,
can I ask a question, please?
Sure,
Sure.
of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disturb you.
No,
The thing is, can we get a booklet or something like that? What all courses are available for international students from the university, so that we can decide among it? Also,
Sure.
I have one more question about a doctoral degree. That do we have to have experience working in database? Because I have already my master from computer science from the US itself, and the bachelor's in information technology. So how do I get the credits from there? Like, I want real
So-
practical experience. Yes.
Yeah, so no, you don't have to. You would have met the requirements you have to meet the requirements to get into the doctorate. Your biggest problem would be that you have degrees outside the business world right now, per se, when they say business. Now, I know IT, and that is, if you were looking at the DBA in IT, you would meet the standard to get into our Doctorate of Business Administration with an emphasis in IT. If you wanted to get into our Doctorate of Business Administration with a emphasis in management, you would not meet it because you don't have a business degree in management. Does that make sense?
That's right. I have a computer science, IT, and database with me. So that means I can.
You could apply for our DBA in information technology. Absolutely.
Yes. And I need requirements and everything, like manual, a catalog for international students, what all courses we can take, because on website it says every course, but we need specific courses, right, to enroll into.
Yeah, so a F1, so if you look, what'll happen is when you apply, it'll ask you if you're an international student and you need a visa, and then it will that's where it will tell you. But we can get you a list. What I primarily gave you is exactly what it is: the MBAs, the MBA, the MS, and the DBA. Those are primarily the degrees that you can get, and that a F1 visa student could get. So for someone like you, to be honest, if you really thought about it and you said, you know what, I'm okay getting another master's degree, and then I would go into a doctorate. The Master of Science with the Information and Technology Management would be a great degree for someone like you, because it's a Master's of Science in Management and IT. So if you went to apply to anywhere, you could get into a DBA in management, you could get a DBA in IT, because you have you would have a master's degree and a business field. Does that make sense?
Great. I want this answer. Thank you. And the
You're
second thing I want to ask you is how long is my doctoral degree program will be? Master will be 2 years, right?
So yes, you can. The Master of Science in Management is 2 years, and you have up to 6 years to do the DBA.
Okay, got that. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Castleman. And I'm looking to see if there's any other people on chat that have any questions. And it seems like we answered pretty much most all of the questions. I'll give one more opportunity for anybody else that might want to put anything else on the chat or might want to ask a question. At the same time, I definitely want to thank Dr. Castleman for joining us and talking to us about the partnership. Thank you, Jennifer, as well, for setting this up and making this available. We will also put out an exit survey, right, Jennifer, that will be going out to you. So please feel free to go ahead and put that out there. I don't see any other questions coming off the chat. One more last opportunity for anybody that wants to speak up and ask a question. Does anybody else have any questions as we conclude our webinar today?
I would like to have a contact information from IWU, the right person, so that I can get the complete walkthrough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dr. Castleman, do you want me to give the information for Dr. White?
Yes.
Yeah, if possible, I want to have a tour of the university and, look into it, like what I can.
What I'm going to do is, Sephora, I'm going to put in the information from Dr. White, who we've been talking to as far as being able to get everything taken care of between CSI and IWU. I'm posting his information right now. In fact, I don't think he wants me to give his cell numbers. I won't give
He
his cell
does.
number.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dr. White is our coordinator of international students. He's the PDSO that most students will deal with. I am the PDSO, so I'm the primary designated student officer. So if there's ever anything I can answer for you guys, feel free to reach out to me. But we always like to start with Dr. White, because he'll give you all the information and do his best. But if you need me, don't hesitate to reach out to me too, okay?
And the other thing is, if you just let Dr. White know also that you listen to the webinar, you're coming straight from CSI, and he'll definitely help you. Because what we'll do is we'll be able to help you with the process too, with being able to collect documentation, things of that nature too. So do let him know that if you have any questions as well, and don't forget to let him know you're coming from CSI, because that will give you an opportunity to transfer credits and all of those things too.
Yes, right. Wonderful. Thank you.
All righty. And
I've
Dr.
added
Castleman
my
put in
email in there into the chat for everyone.
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's been a great pleasure, of course, talking to you all about our great, awesome partnership. We are super excited. You will hear more about this partnership between now and, of course, as we continue to grow and as we continue to develop other programs, as well as continue to develop our partnership. So thank you again so much to each and every one of you for joining. Thank you, Dr. Castleman, as well as Jennifer, and we look forward to even more of this and being able to bring you even more information. If you have any questions, anything that you would like to know more about, don't forget, you should be able to remember admissions@csinow.com. And if you have any questions about any of this, just email us and we'll be glad to get you some more information in regards to it too. All righty.
So last thing, when you guys leave, you should get a survey that pops up on your screen. So please, it's very short and you answer those quick questions. Very easy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. It's my
Thank
pleasure
you.
being with you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Very useful.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
rest of your weekend and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.